Hello, everybody. I'm Christine Schiavone, and our show is Spiritual Exploration. I'm back here again with Geozuwa, who's been a guest before, and he's our guest today, and we're going to talk about the Mandela Effect, which I really hadn't even heard of, tell you the truth, before we decided to do this show. And it's my understanding that it's about people remembering things that didn't happen, but I'm going to turn you over to Joshua to tell you what exactly that means. Hello.
Hi, Christine. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. You know that.
Love being on your show.
I love having you.
Thank you. Well, the Mandela Effect, I guess the definition, it was started with a lot of people when Nelson Mandela was released from prison. There was a large portion of the population of the planet had a memory of him dying in the 80s while in prison, and they call it a mass false memory. However, I'm here to tell you that it actually is not a false memory. It is an alternate universe, an alternate reality, and there are infinite realities, infinite timelines. And yes, it's very possible for someone who has passed away in one reality to be alive in another reality.
In the
and you
same lifetime.
Yes, and you actually shift into that reality. And reality right now, we are in an accelerated time of ascension. So reality is shifting moment to moment. Realities are merging together. There are some realities that are vibrating on such a close frequency that sometimes you're going in and out of out of two realities at the same time. And then taking it to another level, each person, each individual, 7 billion people on the planet, each person has their own reality.
Well, sure, we all have
Whatever
our own
you
story.
believe, well, even besides that, what you believe is real. Because, again, what I teach, nothing is real, and at the same time, everything is real. It's up to you. It's your choice. You choose the reality you want. Now, of course, most people are on someone else's autopilot. They're creating their reality according to what has come before them, what people are teaching them, like schools or parents, grandparents, whatever they're passing down, society, and they're teaching too many limitations. So then they're creating their reality according to others and others' beliefs, as opposed to taking control of yourself and then creating your own reality.
So as they're listening to what other people telling them happened as opposed to what they know.
Well, so what if you could repeat that again so I can properly answer it?
Yeah, they are instead of saying what they know, they're believing what people are telling them is the real reality.
Okay, yes, that is true. Well, on one level, any history that we've had is not real.
Any history?
And at the same, any and all history is not real, and at the same time, it's all real. Every single possibility exists at the same time. Every single possibility is just as real as any other possibility. It comes down to you. It is your choice You have that power. Now, as far as someone telling you what is real and what is not real, everything is real and nothing is real. Again, it's your choice. So you have the choice to.
But how do we choose? I mean, you see a reality, all right? Let's say,
Okay.
for instance, you're going down the street and you see a house on fire,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And the firemen are there and they're putting out the fire and everything. Now, that's a reality. It's a fire. But if you say, well, that's not real, I mean, how could it not be real?
Okay, again, nothing is real.
Yeah.
Everything is real. So yes, that is happening. You're witnessing it. It's there. The firefighters are fighting it. It is real.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is real. Now, is it possible that you wake up the next day, you walk out of your house, and you're passing by that house that was on fire the day before,
Yeah.
and it was as though there was never a fire?
Right.
Is that possible? Absolutely yes.
Really?
So again, everything is real and nothing is real. So both of those possibilities, and it's not just those two possibilities. There's infinite sets. There's a set of infinite possibilities of the house going on fire. There's an infinite set of possibilities of the house never going on fire. Then there's an infinite set of possibilities in which the house was never built.
I was going to say that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that the house was never there to begin with.
And that's one of the reasons that I tell people, don't predict, create. Don't predict, because every possibility, the future, there are infinite possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
You can create your future. And unfortunately, most people do go to like a psychic, a medium, astrology, tarot cards, whatever, and then they hear something. Is it true? Absolutely. But at the same time, it's false. It's always up to you. But most people, once they hear, let's say the tarot card says something or a psychic tells you something, guess what? You now in your head, you're thinking it, you're believing it, you're expecting it, you're going to that reality.
You're going to make it happen then.
Absolutely.
And what about, okay, you didn't go to a psychic or a reader or a astrologer, but you have an idea of the way you would like a certain situation to go and you put it in your head. This is the way this is going to go. It's 1, 2, 3, boom.
As long as you put your effort into it, and you don't even it doesn't even have to be a big effort. As long as you believe it, expect it, as long as you know that everything's going to turn out exactly how you want it, or whatever's best for you, your highest good, your ultimate happiness, when you know it, when you're in a state of knowing, it happens.
Yeah.
And it happens so beautifully and so effortlessly.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So let me share some things with you, because one of the things that they say is that it's false memories, and they're holding on to this idea that they're just memories.
Well, can you remember, like, say, for instance, you had a conversation with somebody and you swear that they said this, but they say, no, I would never have said that.
It's very possible.
I've had that happen to me. You
very
said
possible.
that, and I said, no, I didn't. I would never have said that.
Right. So that person was in a reality in which you said that. So that person's right. You said it. But your main awareness is in a reality in which you never said that, and you would never say it.
You would never think it.
And guess what?
Yeah.
You're right. That's why when people argue about you said this, sometimes yes, sometimes they're just, they both remember the same thing, but they believe they remember what they want to remember. But the other possibility is that they were both in separate realities, their main awareness.
At the same time.
At the same time. Everything exists at the same time. Everything is the same moment. Time doesn't really exist anyway, which I don't think we can get into the whole, time not existing into the show.
Well, I know it doesn't exist in the upper realms. And
it doesn't exist anywhere. Well, we have the illusion that it exists.
Because of the fact that humans...
We created it.
That's right, we created it.
We are creators.
Yes,
we created the time. We created this world.
We had to have some order, I guess, and time helps.
Well, I guess. So what I was saying, it has nothing to... Well, it has somewhat to do with memory, but it's not just memories. It's... Without a doubt, there's infinite realities, there's infinite timelines, there's infinite dimensions. You are infinite. Now, you are aware of where your main awareness is. Now, you exist in all of these realities, and some realities you don't. Some realities, your physical being never existed. So...
Such as?
Okay, so let's see. well, I was going to go through something else, but I guess I'll just jump into that right now.
Or you can go through the other thing.
All right, I'll
go
go and
back
I'll
if
come
you
back to
want,
it. Yeah, I
sure.
think so. Because I just wanted to share. Okay, so have you ever been anywhere and you're walking? Let's say you're walking down the street, and there's a house on the corner,
Okay.
and it wasn't there yesterday. Have you ever experienced? Have you ever experienced you walk into a building and there was never a door on the left side. It was always on the right side. But now it's on the right. It's on the left side, not the right side. And you're saying like, well, I guess I remembered it wrong, or oh, what's
Well, I guess we've all had experiences where we went somewhere and something looked different, and well, maybe I remembered it wrong.
right?
Yeah.
And that's where most people just brush it aside when they notice these.
Yeah, you just say, well,
But one of the big possibilities is that you shifted into another reality in which the door is now on the left instead of the right. One of the things I just have so much to tell. I'll go in with the my ex-wife was very, very good at, and I'm so grateful I had her with me to witness all of these occurrences, because I've experienced it throughout my life, but you really can't talk about it too much. And right now, the Mandela Effect, it's all over the place. Everyone is starting to notice that things are completely different than what they remember. When I say remember, it's because they shifted into a different reality. And, it's like some of those things, Star Wars. Do you remember when Darth Vader said, Luke, I am your father?
yes.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows that one.
Right, but guess what?
Yeah.
In this reality, he never said that.
Really?
He says, no, I am your father.
No, I am your father.
Right. There are too many people that absolutely, and
remember-
the actors,
Yeah.
the actors
Themselves.
remember reading the script, saying the lines, what, Luke, I am your father.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a false memory. If everyone remembers it that way, including the actors. Another one is, what is it, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, with its mirror, mirror on the wall?
Yes, who's the fairest of them all?
Correct, it's mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yes.
In this reality, it is now, and it's always been, magic mirror on the wall.
Uh-huh. I remember Mirror, Mirror.
And so does everyone else, most people. But some people say, no, it's always been magic mirror. Guess what? They were always in
That
this
reality.
reality. Correct. So they are right, you're right, everyone is right. Because every possibility exists at the same time. It depends on where your main awareness is. Where your main awareness is the most important. And, that's why you must work on you where you are now. This is where your main awareness is. You work on you and you bring yourself to be the best you. Raise your frequencies and vibrations, and every version of you in every reality will benefit. So it's always, because a lot of people will say, well, if reality shifts moment to moment and this changes and that changes and people change, what's the point of it all? It's always about you. You must work on you. Bring yourself to be the best you. Raise your frequencies, your vibrations, evolve your soul, and every reality will adjust. Every version of you will rise.
Well, how do we make ourselves the best person we can be? By doing kind things?
Yes, that's one, of course, but getting rid of all your negative thought patterns, getting rid of fear, getting rid of trauma, overcoming your past experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, then passing it on, sharing love and light with everyone, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Don't harm anyone. Don't have bad intentions.
Right.
Get rid of the jealousy. Get rid of anger. Get rid of doubt.
Get rid of all negative thoughts.
Right. Absolutely. So, I can go on and on about some of the Mandela effects that are out there, even huge geographical shifts. I'll get to those in a minute. So, living in Queens at the time, and I'm moving back to Florida, and we're packing up our belongings. And I was on a softball team when I was in the Marine Corps, and I had one shirt. Every person on the team received one shirt, and we're moving to Florida, so we pack it up, go to Florida, unpack it, do the laundry and everything else, put it into the armoire. One shirt. That's all I ever received. That's what we put in. I have my ex-wife to be the witness that that's what was put in the armoire. And go for a walk 3 days in a row. Go for a walk 4 days in a row. 3 days in a row walking the same path, and across the street on a main roadway, there are no houses there. It's a complete forest. Nothing there except the forest. No houses, I'm saying. So after the third day, we're walking. Okay, we go back to the house late at night. We go to sleep. Now, we can experience, there are certain frequencies, there's certain movements, there's certain sounds, there's certain feelings. There's a lot of things that when you're more aware that you can pick up on, that you know that reality just shifted. So when we woke up that morning, we felt that reality had just shifted from the day before. We go for the same walk. As we're walking the same path, across the street where there has always been a forest, the 3 days prior,
Right.
is now a huge development.
Wow.
Houses, old houses, new houses, as if it was always there.
Wow.
We both look at each other. Yes, that was another confirmation that reality shifted.
I'm going to have to be aware of these things now. I'm going to have to be looking for
Oh yeah,
them.
now that you know, and
Now
now
we
that you
know.
know what it is, you're gonna start to notice it even more. You're gonna start to notice. And of course, the more good, like for you, good deeds, the more you're raising your frequency and vibrations,
Yeah.
the more your awareness increases, and you'll notice
I
this
did
more and more.
notice like little things, like, this was over here, but now come it's over there now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I did notice little things like, I don't remember putting that there. I remember keeping it over here.
It's very possible that reality shifted, because I'll get to that in a minute with objects.
Yeah.
So when we get back to the house, oh, and by the way, that street, that development that was across the street was two realities that merged together. Because here's the main roadway going this way, and this development had another. It was a main roadway that made no sense. Double yellow lines going right into this roadway, but it was blocked off with a little patch of dirt. Made no sense, and that street has no name. So the two realities merged, and that's how it looked with that merge. We go that same day, we go back to the house, open up the armoire. I have two
The same shirt.
of the same shirt. And we both, again, we confirmed, reality shifted. There was always one shirt. We felt the shift. We saw there's a development that was never there the prior 3 days. Back in the house, the armoire, there's two shirts, exactly the same.
Now, when you were taking that walk and you saw only woods, did it occur to you that something might change, or you did?
Well, it occurs to me all the time, because reality shifts all the time, and people, they don't always shift with your main awareness. Sometimes their main awareness is going into different directions, into different alternate realities. So I love this example, and I hope she's okay with me using it. And Janice, she's been here before. I think she's going to be a
Janice
producer.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Yes, I
Okay.
know.
Well, I
Yes.
wasn't going to say her last name on
Well,
television,
That's okay.
well, you do have a very large audience.
Well, yeah,
You
but
do.
that's all right. But Kennedy's a pretty popular name in
Yes.
the Irish people.
Yes, the Irish people.
Okay.
Okay, so, and maybe I shouldn't use this example then, but it's a great example.
Well, go ahead. Use
You know
it.
what? I think I will.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, once she came, she came to my 2-day workshop, and she started evolving and really expanding in her awareness, and she started to notice these reality shifts. And with her boyfriend for 5 years, and her daughter's there, and every meal, he would want his salad. Her boyfriend would want his salad in a bowl before the main meal, eat the salad, and then have his meal in a separate dish. 5 years that they were living together.
Right.
Reality shifting. She's, setting the place for dinner, and she gives him a bowl of salad.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "What are you doing? Why?
Oh, no.
What are you doing? Why are you giving me the salad right now?" And she said, "Well, you always have your salad before the meal in a bowl." And he goes, "Never." He goes, "I'm Italian. I always have my salad at the end of the meal, and I have it in the same dish." And now the daughter notices too, and she's looking at her mom like, "Wow, what's going on?" And she just said, "Well, it's just a reality shift. It's okay." And like she knew not to argue, because guess what? It was a reality shift. where most people don't realize that sometimes a reality shifts and it's something like that, and then they'll argue that no,
But he also always had the memory at that point, though, that he always ate his salad
it's
after.
not the memory.
Uh-huh.
It is the absolute reality.
Oh.
It's not a memory.
But
That's
the
what
reality was he ate his salad before, and now he's eating it after.
Her main awareness was always in the reality where he ate the salad before the meal in a separate bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Reality shifted. Whether she shifted into a reality in which, now let's say she shifted into another reality, and that other reality that she shifted into, he he has always, it's not a memory, he always ate his salad at the end of the meal in the same dish. It's not a memory, it's an absolute reality. His reality has always been the salad at the end of the meal in the same dish. I know it's
kind of hard to digest.
Yes, it is, and it does sound very crazy.
Yeah, it does.
But as more people, and right now there are more people evolving and waking up, and as you're waking up, you are going to continue to notice first the subtleties, and then you're going to notice huge shifts.
So now, what do you think is going on? I mean, like on a spiritual level?
Yes.
A building that was there yesterday, you saw it there yesterday, and all of a sudden it's an empty lot today?
What about it?
Well, I mean, then that is that like a spiritual changes going on of some sort?
That there's infinite possibilities. Every possibility is absolutely correct, absolutely false. It all depends. Yes, right now, like I said in the beginning, we're in an accelerated time of ascension. People are waking up, people are evolving, they're ascending. And as they're doing that, reality is shifting moment to moment. Where years ago, it was taking longer, there were less shifts. Right now, it's shifting moment to moment. And we're in an accelerated time of creation, of manifesting. So continue to be aware of your thoughts.
I hope
and your
you're
intentions.
right about this ascending, because of the fact that I look around and I see there's still a lot of people that are being really mean and bad to other people, to animals, to Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really bothers me to see that, and I'm
do you
saying,
know-
where are people going?
Do you know that there are infinite realities where that is not happening?
Oh, from your mouth to God's ears.
So what you have to do is work on you. If each person is working on themselves and
Right.
bringing themselves to their divinity, then that's it. Everything else will adjust. A better you is better for this world and every world in every reality.
Well, I have a hope that when I leave this earth, that I will find out that all the suffering that ever happened is just something that really never happened. Suffering that people have had to do with illness or being made to suffer by other people, suffering that animals have had to do, being slaughtered, or pets that are abused, or whatever, and all the things that people did to Mother Earth to make it not as great a place to be. All right, and I really, in a way, it has occurred to me, and I say I hope that someday I'll find out that none of this ever really happened.
It didn't.
I hope you're right.
And then on another level, the earth has been destroyed
Yeah.
infinite times.
Yeah.
So again, and then you could say, well, then if that's true, like what's the point of it all? The point of it all is you are here, right now. This is where your main awareness is.
Yeah.
Work on you. Bring yourself to be the best version of you. Raise your frequency of vibrations. Do good.
Now, I agree with that. I really do. I think that if everybody felt that way and acted that way, the world would be a very much better place.
Right.
Okay? So, but
It
we
has
can
to start
only
with you.
get it right. We can only work on ourselves. We
Correct.
can't change anybody but ourselves.
Correct.
So we have to work on ourselves. But If everybody would adhere to that, we practically have a utopia going
Yes,
on.
and it is going to happen. People are waking up. It is going to happen.
On Earth or in another dimension?
Every reality.
Every reality.
Every dimension. I think I said last time I was on your show, but within the last year and a half, there has been a huge darkness that has been lifted from this world and every world. It's just not there anymore. It's gone.
A darkness doing what?
Well, whatever darkness does.
Well-
Without going into a deep explanation,
Right.
you do know what the dark is.
Oh, sure. I mean,
Right.
the light is preferable, and the dark is dark. That the dark
Right.
is.
Okay, so if you want to use a word like evil, it's a huge darkness that has been lifted. Now, of course, there is still,
Evil.
darkness here. There is still, but again, the light, the moment that, you have that eternal struggle of the light and the dark, the good and evil, nonsense.
Mhm.
It was a split moment of a moment, a nano of a nanosecond. Even quicker than that, that's how long it was. It was a moment. We're in that moment.
Mm.
The light always won. It won the moment it happened.
Oh, good
we won.
always wins.
Whatever
over
we're
evil.
experiencing right now is just some residuals. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hmm. So, so what you're saying to our audience is that make yourself the best person you can be, and you will contribute to the light of the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll feel better, and creation, reality will shift for you, your highest good, your ultimate happiness. So the more you work on you and you bring yourself to be the best version of you, guess what? Everything falls into place. Every reality falls into place for you to be happy, for you to experience love, to be loved perfectly, to share love perfectly. It's just a beautiful, beautiful world when you
Yeah.
get out of your own way.
And people will look at you differently too.
Absolutely.
They will look at you with more respect and more love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you raise your frequencies and vibrations, the people around you, just by being near you, their frequencies and vibrations are going to rise.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's true.
So, and the space, the air, everything.
Yeah. That's really good. So tell us more.
There's so much more. Okay. Now, well, let's just, before I get into more examples and personal examples, and I have them every day. Today, yesterday, I mean, every single day I witness it, and I'm grateful that I have students around me and close friends around me that notice these shifts, that notice these reality changes. So, but one thing when you said about spiritual and and you hope that's true, and of course, yes, it is absolutely true. But now there are infinite realities in which this is the matrix. We're living in a hologram, a computer. And there's infinite levels of the matrix.
Do you think we're being manipulated?
Nonstop, every day. That's why you have to work on you. Most people are asleep. Most people are easily manipulated by the media, not even just the media or the news, which is, of course, is all fake. It's all fake news. They have an agenda. They want to brainwash, and of course, even schools. That's what they're doing. Indoctrination. They're brainwashing society. They want people to be under their control. Unfortunately, the powers behind the powers. That's what they want. Most of the planet right now in this reality are slaves. There's a very small portion that are truly awake. But there are so many that
I mean,
are
slaves to what they believe.
slaves to everything.
Uh-huh.
Slaves to them.
Right.
Like you think politicians care about?
No, they don't.
No,
they
not
care
at
about
all.
themselves and filling their own pockets.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
that's it.
So what were we just saying? 'Cause
I was going to say, a thought occurred to me, is it possible that there are so-called people around that look like people, but they're really robots?
Oh boy. So we're going. You want to go into a different direction? Okay.
Well, that's
Yes,
another reality that's
but
possible.
Every possibility exists.
Yes.
At the same time, every possibility. So the moment you have a question, the answer is yes, absolutely yes. At the same time, the answer is absolutely no. Every conspiracy, or if you want to say every conspiracy theory, is absolutely true. And at the same time, It's absolutely false.
Hmm.
It's your choice. If every reality exists, if every possibility exists at the same time, it is your choice. So you choose who you want to be. You choose your reality. If it's not happening right away, it's okay. Just know that you can and will make it happen.
Hmm.
Never give up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Never give up. But again, so you asked about robots. Yes. And if you want to go into any other beings or aliens, yes, absolutely.
And they might be disguised as humans or something?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
And you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know who you're
Well,
talking
you do. It depends on the reality. It really depends on the reality.
to. Uh-huh.
And there are some of us that are extremely aware of several realities at the same time. You know, and then there's people. Sometimes when people shift, I gave you the example with Janice and her boyfriend. And there's so many other people that have experienced all these things, myself included. I'll go into one, knew this girl, friends in Florida. We communicated all the time. You know, she worked in a bookstore. I do the metaphysical. She was in the metaphysical bookstore. Friends on Facebook, everything else. We've done work together. And I had just spoken to her, let's say, a week ago, right? So I go into the bookstore and to give some flyers for my next workshop. And I say hello to her and everything, and she's looking at me. She's like,
Who are you?
I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. And I'm like,
How
what?
could you not know
Yeah,
who I am?
right, exactly. Yeah, I'm not very forgettable, I hope. But and I realized I can sense things, and I was like, okay, I shifted into reality. We never even met. Went back to Facebook. We're not even friends on Facebook.
Whoa.
Right. And of course, there were other confirmations of that reality shift. Now, other people have experienced this as well. I recently, on YouTube, there was this band from the 60s they had music television in the 1940s and 50s or 60s, whatever it was.
I think television didn't come out till the 50s.
Well, it came out earlier.
Maybe late 40s.
Well, they had music videos though.
They did.
In this reality.
Really?
Yes. So, on YouTube, she was playing this video from I think it was the 1960s. Now there was a growler bear.
Growler bear?
Yeah, it's a cross between a polar bear and a grizzly bear. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Me neither.
I didn't know
Except
that they were able to.
in this reality, they discovered that a growler bear in 2016 for the first time. They discovered a growler bear.
Really?
In 2016. Keep that in mind, 2016.
Right.
And that's because the North Pole, the Arctic Circle is gone. There's no more Arctic Circle.
I know all the glaciers are melting and all that.
Okay. So
Okay, I hope you're right.
So now in the 1960s, they have this video and there's a growler bear. Okay. But the band, I think if I remember correctly, is either 3 women and a guy or there's 4 women and a guy. And the name of the band, I forget what it is. But then there's comments below that there was a gentleman that was actually in that band in the 60s. And he said it was an all-male band.
Oh, boy.
There were 5, I think it was either 4 guys or 5 guys. There was never a girl in the band. He said, and slowly there's people that thought it never existed. So when he was in the 60s, there was no other band. It was a pretty popular band in his reality, and it was an all-guy band. And he had, now, do you remember your first true love? Your first boyfriend?
Depends on what age you're talking about now. I mean, when I was 6, I had a boyfriend.
Oh. Okay, so wait, do you remember your first true love, where you were in love?
I guess, yeah, as a teenager, somebody
Okay.
that was nearby.
Well, usually, if you had like a long-term relationship, if you were in a relationship with someone, well, for me, my first true love, I was with her, let's say, depending on the reality, 2 to 4 years, right? But it's a big chunk, and that's something really that sticks with you. And the same guy that was in that band that now never existed, his first true love, his girlfriend, that dominated several years of his life, no longer existed. There's no records of her. She never existed. her family doesn't exist, the island that they came from no longer exists. And he's concerned, he's like, slowly my life, my existence is being erased. So these things happen, and it's not just to one person, to two, it's happening, and people are waking up and noticing it. There's infinite realities. In some realities, certain things exist, certain things don't exist.
I did like somebody when I was in high school, and he moved to Florida.
Okay.
Okay, and he and I were pretty close when I was in high school, and he moved to Florida, and one day I was passing an ice cream parlor, and I saw him in there mopping a floor, and I says, "Oh my goodness, he must be back." So I went in and I said hello to him. He did not remember me, and it was only a couple of years later.
Right.
He did not remember me. I gave him a St. Christopher medal before he left for protection. And he says, I just came across that medal the other day and wondered where I got it from. And then when I left, and I said, well, forget about this guy now, right? And when I left, he just said, thanks for the St. Christopher medal. That was it. And I never saw him again.
Well, one of the possibilities is that you're both in different realities.
Maybe. Now that you mention it, because to this day, I wonder what that was all about.
So yeah, these things are happening, and it's not just where some people say, well, you can change things on Google, like let's say Google Maps, and they could mess with information and history on a computer. You can't change it in a physical book from the 1960s, from the 1800s. But that is what's happening when we shift into realities. For example, no one ever talks about Italy and Sicily. Now, there was a great distance, or a decent distance, between Italy and Sicily. Everyone remembers there was a distance between Italy and Sicily.
Well, there's water between, right?
Well, yes, of course, but there was a big distance.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a few years back. Most Americans aren't good with geography. I've always been good with geography. I love geography. I love history. And my ex at the time, she knows all about geography. And we were talking about going to Sicily. And we, looked at the map and everything, great distance. And then a couple of weeks later, and there's reality shifts in between. And I pull up the map again, and Italy and Sicily are, almost touching. They're almost touching. They're that close, tip to tip. And I call her in. She goes, no, we just looked at that last week. That was, and of course it's never been that way. And no one remembers it like that. And I brought it up in one of my workshops. I didn't tell them what it was. And then a week later, they started saying, was it Italy and Sicily? Because everyone noticed it's Italy and Sicily. I never said what the geographical shift was. And let's say that was on a Sunday, and talking to the class about it, one woman came in late, and she said, Joshua, it was an hour late she was, and she goes, Joshua, this is a little off topic, but were you referring to Italy and Sicily? And I said, yes. She goes, yes, and she goes, it's never been like that. I went to the library, I went here, I went there, I looked up, I took out all the old map books, and in all those physical books, it's tip to tip. They're almost touching. She said it was never like that. I said, I know, but we shifted into reality in which it's always been like that. 3 days later, a person I'm staying with on Staten Island, a friend of mine, he wasn't good in geography, but I was explaining to him about the shift. And he goes, oh, wait a second, let me go get my encyclopedia. He brings out an encyclopedia from 1964, I believe. And
when they still were making encyclopedias.
Yes. And opens it up to Italy and Sicily. Guess what? It wasn't tip to tip anymore. The tip of Sicily was now above, almost touching Italy, but was now above the tip of Italy. And it shifted again.
We do have shifts in the world, because I know that New York used to be somewhere else.
Yes, Christine, that is very true. But if the world shifts right now, does that mean the book from 1964 is going to shift?
No, it means
right. So yes, there are geographical shifts.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
And then there are geographical shifts when we shift reality. You do understand, right? So
Well, I'm kind of understanding. Go ahead.
Then the book from 1964 is now different than it was 3 days ago.
In other words, now if they took
We
another,
shifted into a reality
right?
in which it was always slightly above Italy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know it can be confusing. It's a lot to take in, and you may have to watch this video over and over to grasp some of it and maybe do some more research on the Mandela effect. But it's not just memories or false memories or who's right, who's wrong. No, it's infinite realities, infinite possibilities, and people, as they're awakening, they're noticing these reality shifts. So,
Supposing, let's say, hypothetically.
but wait, I want to
Okay.
share. I want to finish with the Italy and Sicily.
Okay.
So now the next week, I go back to my class and I tell them again there was another huge shift. Guess what? And now they're blown away because we just went over this on Sunday with all the maps, with all everything where it was tip to tip, and now we're in a reality where the tip of Sicily is now above, still almost touching, but above the tip of Italy, the tip of the boot. So, and yes, so they realize that as well. So it's not just me, it's not just a few people, there are so many people. And one of the big ones, now this is interesting because, South America has always been like basically right under North America. You have Mexico if you're looking at a map to the left coming down from California, and then you have South America directly below the United States. I've always been in a reality where if you take Florida and you draw a straight line on a map from Florida going straight down, you'll cut a portion of Brazil. Are you aware of that or no?
No.
Okay. So, well, whoever's watching this, if you're aware of that and you want to go look at a map, it used to be where you could draw a straight line down from Florida and you'll cut the eastern tip of Brazil. Now, we're in a reality where South America is completely east
Of Florida.
of North America. So if you draw a line straight down from Florida, it'll go right into the water because South America has moved all the way over. And when I say it's moved all the way over, it wasn't just a geographical natural shift. We're in a reality in which it's always been that way. Every map will show you that it's always been that way. Moved over 1,000 miles.
Might not be a bad idea to go to like a library and look up different maps that from this
We've done
year,
that.
from
Yes,
that
we've
year,
done that.
and see.
And it's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yes.
What do you mean it's all the same? But there's changes, right? No.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying we shifted into a reality in which it was always
That way.
So if you go to a map from the 1800s, it's going to look like a map from today.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
all right. But in the meantime, at one point, you could draw a line from Florida and go through Brazil, but now you can't.
Because we're in a different reality.
Oh.
I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. Are you going to pass out?
No.
You're not going to pass out.
I've never passed out in my life.
Is your brain going to explode?
No.
Okay.
But I do have to digest this. Like
It is a lot.
It's a lot, and
Yes.
it's information that I never thought of, and that I'm sure our audience has never thought of.
Probably not.
So
probably
everybody's
not.
learning something new now. Just be on the lookout for, for all these different shifts, these different changes that are around you now. You have to be aware, I guess. you
Right,
know?
but the main message is this: regardless of what's happening, even if you're in the matrix, whatever reality your main awareness is in, wherever it is, always work on you. That is the point. Bring yourself, raise your frequencies and vibrations, be the best version of yourself, and everything will fall into place.
Yes.
Like you raise your frequencies, you raise your vibrations, you send pure love to everyone, have good intentions, never, ever, ever try to control anyone else, only control you, your thoughts, your intentions, your reality. Don't try to control anyone else's reality. And as you're doing that, everything will shift and adjust, and every world and every version will be so much better.
And
it's
will
easier
basically go your way.
Absolutely. And doing that, you want to be happy. Most people want to be happy, correct?
I would
So
think
bring
so,
yourself
yeah.
to be the best version of you. And it becomes easier for you to be loved, to share love perfectly, to be in beautiful, healthy, loving relationships, to raise beautiful, healthy, loving children that become,
Good people.
great people. Yes, absolutely. So that you change the world. And you change the world by changing you. And when you do that,
It goes out like
it goes out into every
it's
direction,
like
to
taking
every
a
reality.
stone and throwing it across the water, and all the ripples go out that way, and then they
Yes.
come back.
Correct.
And that's what I think. Well, I hate to say the word, but that's what karma's all about too.
Oh, goodness, karma. You always get right back to karma, don't
Well,
you?
everything what you put out, and then it comes back. That's it.
The best
and-
way to overcome any type of karma
Yeah,
is to forgive everyone, forgive yourself,
and become a good person.
and free others. If there's a person that has done so much harm to you,
Mm-hmm.
that has really, let's say, abused you, whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
you still have to forgive that person. And how do you know you forgive that person? Truly forgive that person.
When you forget about it,
No, you don't have to forget about it. And the forgiveness is not for that person. The forgiveness is for you, because when you
True.
forgive, you are
you
freeing
release
yourself
yourself from all the negative
You're
stuff
freeing
that goes on
yourself.
inside you.
to raise your frequencies and vibrations. You're freeing yourself to be loved. You're freeing yourself to enjoy life. You're freeing yourself to create a better reality for you and every reality across the board. Now, even if they've done the most horrible things, like I know you say, the people that are really evil, they deserve to go to hell. They deserve to. No. Once you can let that go, karma doesn't exist anymore. Once you can truly forgive. Have you ever been accused? Have you ever been accused of doing something you never did?
I'm always accused of doing things I never did. Are you kidding? People think I made phone calls I never made. People think I did this. I did
Oh my
that.
goodness, I was getting prank calls last night. Was that you?
No, I don't do that. Never did that. Never
Okay.
did that. No, I'm talking about, you called so-and-so and said something about me, and I said, no, I never did that. You know what I mean? But so-and-so's got to be lying, and I tell you. Anyway, but one of the points I wanted to make, though, about forgiveness, though, is if you really are so upset with somebody for what they might have done to you or somebody you love or anything or anybody, and you finding it hard to forgive, ask God. Say, God, please do me a favor. You forgive that person for me.
Yes, that's one technique, absolutely. Everything works. Whatever's most comfortable for you.
Yeah.
But when you can truly forgive, it is absolutely freeing and it is beautiful.
Well, it's
when you can free someone else from, and they don't have to know you forgive them. You never have to talk to them again.
Oh, that's right.
You never have to be in their company.
That's right.
But you must forgive.
Yeah.
You must forgive.
Yeah. Well, it's easier to forgive when the person doesn't have to be in your life anymore.
Yes, it can be.
You
yes,
know?
much easier. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
But regardless, you still have to forgive, because the forgiveness is for you.
Well, that's true, because when you're not in a state of forgiveness for another human being, you are burdened with the negative feelings that come about from that.
Yep, that's one of the
and then
things.
when
Absolutely.
you forgive, you release those feelings, and you are free.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. Yep. So, anyway, so what else about the Mandela Effect?
We talked about it. Okay, so even if it is the Matrix, and like even if you're living in a computer, still work on it.
How would we be living in a computer?
Well, none of this is real. And on one level, we're on the other side in a sleep machine, and this is one big dream.
I was going to say, life is but a dream.
Yes.
There's a song. Life is
Yes,
but a
and
dream.
every possibility
row,
exists.
row your boat.
Oh goodness. Yes, life is a dream.
Sometimes you think so.
And I teach dream control,
Right, we did a show about
where you
that.
can control your dreams. You know, a lucid dream.
Yes.
Well, this is the ultimate lucid dream.
Uh-huh.
And you can take control of it. And I'm not the only one saying that. You can create your reality. You can manifest your intentions. And right now we live in a beautiful time, an accelerated time of ascension. So our intentions, our creations are manifesting so much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'll continue to tell you to be careful of your thoughts. Be careful of what you wish for, because it's happening
It
quick.
could happen. That's
No,
right.
not just it could happen. It's happening quick.
Right.
And usually, I don't usually say this, but it's true, that every thought you have is creating. So be more responsible of
About
your
your
creation.
thoughts.
Be
Yeah,
responsible
yeah.
of your thoughts
And I would like
and
to
actions, of course.
I would like to tell everybody that if you're not aware of what a lucid dream is, it's a dream where you know that you're dreaming and you can control what's going on.
Yes, you're aware that you're sleeping, you're in a dream, and yes, you're
And
aware of
you're-
it, and you can
And I
and
don't
can
think I've
control
ever
it.
had that experience, though. I was waiting to have it, but it hasn't happened. But lucid dreams, yeah. So this is like you're saying a lucid dream where we can control our lives and excuse me, what happens in our life and how things go.
Yes. Now again, one of the because we've talked about this before. One of the other possibilities is that you are the only person who exists, and every single person, including myself, on this planet is an aspect of you. This is all your
That thought has
creation.
crossed my mind. But not that everybody else is an aspect of me, but that they're there because they have to influence me in some way.
That is another very big possibility. It's all true. Everything is true.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, everything is false. It's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
But that is, and if you believe that, guess what? That is what you're going to experience. That
Yes.
is going to be your reality.
Yes, whatever you believe and whatever you plan. So in other words, it's okay to make plans.
So if a person, of course it's okay to make plans.
Well, sometimes plans go awry.
One of the things I wanted to mention, with some of the things that are reversed. Now, my main awareness has always been in a reality in which, the right brain, left brain.
Yeah.
Right brain was always associated with the male, the logical, and the left side was always associated with the female, the feminine, the creativity, the creative side, imagination. So now we're in a reality in which it's completely opposite. The right side of the brain is associated with the feminine, the creative, and the left side of the brain is now associated with the male and is logical. And there are many people that say, well, it's always been that way. And there's many people that say, no, it was always the opposite. There's no right or wrong. They're both absolutely true. Many of us came from a reality in which the right side was always the man. And I have evidence of this, and I have tons of witnesses. But I remember I was in a workshop at the NGH, National Guild of Hypnotists in Massachusetts, many years ago, and there was a psychic medium, also a hypnotist, that was doing a workshop, and she was she was talking about the left side, the right side, and she was saying how the left side, the female, the right side associated with the male, the right side was the man, and so I raised my hand, and because I wanted to clarify, so I said, okay, so the right side is associated with the man. She said yes, and I said, okay, just to clarify, this is very important. So what you're saying is the man is always right. And yes, right. And well, I'm glad you laughed because the room was filled with women and they didn't appreciate it. But I was kidding. I was joking. But I had that on video. Now, I have it on video. And I have witnesses of that video, of witnesses that were sitting next to me. I had my students with me. And that was the reality. We shifted. Even though we shifted, the video sometimes I'm on the video saying that. Sometimes it's never said. And I have witnesses that heard it both ways.
Really?
So that's how I know it's not, and that's not just one of the reasons. I mean, I cross the board with everything, and I can go on and on for days, for weeks, for eternity, going through all these examples and personal examples with witnesses. So that's another thing where I know it's not just memory. Because you have some people are saying that, they're working with the programs and changing memories and implanting memories. Is that possible? Absolutely yes, but it's not the only possibility because it's infinite. There's infinite possibilities, there's infinite realities, infinite dimensions, and it's shifting moment to moment.
Well, let's say you can take, let's say, a video of something or watch a movie, let's say even, and the movie went this way, and then watch it again, and it could be a different story or a different.
Absolutely. I've noticed so many things in other movies that people haven't noticed. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that notice these things too, but it's never mentioned. But some of the big ones, like Sex in the City, a large portion of the population remember Sex in the City. They had posters and videos, Sex in the City. The reality we're in right now, it's Sex and the City.
Wow.
So, absolutely.
So even titles, everything changes.
Titles, you name it. The Bible, the physical Bible has changed.
Really?
Yes. Do you remember that verse? I forgot. I think it's Isaiah 11:6. I think.
Okay.
Isaiah 11:6, where it's the lion shall lay with the lamb or something like that.
Yeah.
It's never. They never said that.
Really?
It's now the wolf will sleep with the sheep or something like that, or the wolf with the sheep, lay down with the sheep.
In the meantime, this has been so interesting. It really has. One of the most interesting shows I've ever done.
Oh, thank you so much.
Really? Well, you're very...
I think you say that to me all the time, though.
Well, it's the truth. You have, you have the capacity to talk about just a lot of subjects and be interesting while you're doing it. So,
well, thank you very much.
Which is a good thing. And I do appreciate you coming by today to be here and make this show, because this is like, I'd never covered this subject before, and it's a nice
We'll
subject.
have to do a part 2 when you start to notice all of the reality
we'll
shifts.
do a part 2. Yes, that'll be good. In the meantime, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the show. I hope that you learned something, because I certainly did. And I just want to bid you all a good night and take care, everybody.